Well, as we continue to hear our stories of those who originally were involved with forming the Cache Community Connections interfaith group, I'm here today with Doug Thompson, who actually was the mayor of Logan at that time. So as mayor, I'm sure that many were looking at you for leadership and how to hold the community together and what needed to be done to be sure that the people in the community were safe.
I was getting ready to go to work, and I heard on NPR that a plane had flown into one of the towers, and so I went in and turned on the TV, and moments after I turned on the TV, the second plane hit the other tower, and I was glued to the TV for the next 15 or 20 minutes, and I had to get to work. But that's how I found out about it, and it just totally shocked me. I just couldn't believe that it was happening. But then my thoughts turned to the Muslims in the valley, and I was concerned for their safety. And so I talked with our police department and asked them to be very watchful and mindful if they go by the Islamic Student Center on a regular basis. And if they hear of any kind of a problem, to take care of it and to protect our Muslim friends. Because we have quite a few for a city our size because of their attending Utah State. And then we got thinking about how can we make all of the citizens in Cache Valley feel better about themselves and about the situation. And we thought that an interfaith service where we invited as many faiths who want to be involved, but to participate and do it together, to try to give ourselves a feeling of community. And so we were able to acquire the Eccles Theater for that Friday, and then went to bat on trying to get the word out and getting it organized. And in order to organize it, I started calling around to see who had phone numbers of the interfaith group of the different religions. My secretary and I were able to call the leaders of those groups and some other community leaders who we thought would be interested. And we got a group together of about, 15 to 20 in the basement of First Presbyterian Church. And we had a wonderful meeting. There was just a feeling of brotherhood and kindness and concern for each other. And it was just really a blessing to be there. It was just, and so we got the meeting planned, the interfaith service planned, and we met several times that week. And then after we had the service, and it really was lovely. And one of the things that really impressed us the most was Saeed Gabayan was the leader of the Islamic Student Association at that time. And he stood up and said how sorry he was. And he said, "This is not my Islam." And his sincerity and his tears touched everybody's heart. And after the event, we called everybody together just to have a review and see what they thought. And everyone thought it was so wonderful. And this group that we had together was working so well together. And it was such a great idea to have this interfaith group that we decided to continue it. And that's where the genesis of Cache Community Connections came.
Here we are 20 years later, and Cache Community Connections is still happening. But a lot of people don't really know what Cache Community Connections is anymore. Loaves and Fishes, that came out of that gathering.
Actually, the genesis of Loaves and Fishes came from a few individuals. They had the idea. And they came to Cash Community Connections to talk about it and to get our cooperation in helping it get started. But it didn't originate within Cash Community Connections itself, but they used the group to facilitate their idea.
So that kind of
And-
happened about the same time then.
Yes, it was within 6 months.
Okay. Mhm. Prior to 9/11, did you ever have an interfaith coming together service or event?
Not that I'm aware of. When we got together and worked together so well, and it was such a warm relationship, and you could see that distrust and difficulty between different religions melt away, that we thought, man, this has got to continue. This has got to continue and get stronger and last forever.
Does it surprise you that Cash Community Connections is still going after 20 years? Did you ever think?
Well, the thing about it is they started some things that have really been popular for the community, or the Christmas concert series and the summer concerts. But there are other things that happened. Initially, we wanted to get together for a worship service during the year. And we decided that everyone gives thanks. And so we had our Cash Community Connections worship service on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Well, Doug, thank you. I certainly do appreciate your time here and giving us your insight on what happened, starting with after 9/11 and how we found it important to come together as a community.